Hi guys, so I'm going to do today's weekly tarot reading. My pendulum picked the Dark Mansion deck, so this is the one we're going to use. So it probably wants to deal with some challenging aspects. We have a lot going on. A few days ago I read on the post office. The next day they started picking up the boxes, as you guys are aware. So we got some challenging things going on in here. That's going on in the world, and it's like, what's coming, So I know a lot of you kind of want to, get some ideas, but especially I'm reading for the collective, more of interpersonal issues. So if you see it, this message is for you. Some things to prepare for. So we're going to kind of look at some of the spirit message. Spirit wants to come out. You know what? I almost feel like maybe, let's get a message of hope here, Spirit. This is what I'm really kind of aiming for, that I would like to see. I'm going to lower the thing so you can see the cards again. I've been doing that a little bit lately. I feel like you guys like that better. So let's go ahead and get to it. Yeah, a lot going on. The post office makes me nervous, though. I was already, when I started laying out cards, if you guys check out the Trump versus Bezos, the post office and the election video, I got nervous when I started laying out. I used Thoth for that. And, when I saw the death card in the post office position, because that's their actual position. Like if you had a self position in the layout, that was them, the death card. So that's very concerning. And especially the failure card for finances. But the defeat card did show. So all in all, if all goes well, Trump should be defeated because the defeat card shows. See, I think, even with this going on, people are going to find a way to get to the polls. And this has upset a lot of people, especially people who, medications is the big one for me. People not getting their Social Security checks. That's another big one. If they can't get them, or if people, the drop boxes are not there so people can mail their bills, even that. Or their mail getting late and them getting fees. So there's a lot of concern. So we got to just stay awake and do our best despite the circumstances. Whoops. Okay. Let's see what we got going on. Very first card is King of Cups. Now, King of Cups has been my Biden card very much. He's been standing out. And King of Cups is Scorpio, is one of the signs. So that's part of it. And I've got that Four of Cups again. It's in the past position. So that we have talked about in the last reads, and it does show up a lot for Trump, ignoring sound advice. So, the White House advisors and so forth, I bet they're talking to him about the post office right now. He's focused on, how, his idea of what is good for him. He misses those happier times when everything was smooth in office. And they're trying to give him information, how to fix things, with coronavirus, and everything else, and even better himself so we could get elected. And they're trying to explain to him, you're not making good moves here. We need to do something. The American people are getting upset. And as you can see, he's just ignoring it. He's got his own idea of what's going to work. Now, the Queen of Swords is in the reverse position. Now, I'm kind of feeling, this is Kamala Harris. You know, she's starting to take a lot of blows and things like that, but she's ready. Now it's in reverse, so she's, you know, she's gonna say some things that are really gonna rub Trump the wrong way, because she's being attacked right now, and she's not put up with that. You know, she's taking some hard blows, but she's ready. You know, she's ready to bring it out there. Now, with Trump's card, he normally shows as either the king or the knight of swords. Now, when he's in the knight of swords mode, you know, he can even get, you know, this guy can be even verbally abusive. You know, my knight of swords guy, he rushes in, he does not think, he says things he should not, you know, definitely says things. So we can expect, and it's very interesting because she's kind of coming on as a swords person here. So I do feel expect some, you know, some brutal assaults. He's even questioning if she's born here, and there is plenty of evidence she was born in Oakland. So that has been coming out. You know, that is definitely, you know, has been thrown out there. You know, kind of like what happened with Obama. And, you know, come on, she was obviously born here. That's not, but that's going to kind of drift away, that whole statement that he made, because it's clearly, you know, not an issue. Now, it's very interesting. I have the Two of Swords in the self position. So I do feel we're kind of sitting here on a choice to make a particular move. And no matter what, the choice is uncomfortable. You know, anytime I see the Two of Swords and we have to make a choice, there is a sacrifice of one or the other. So I feel like this kind of makes me feel the American people. Okay, this is the deal. Okay, we've got the choice. We've got, let me just pull them up again, because I know you guys like the art and visuals. We've got the choice between Biden and Trump. Now, a lot of the American people, you know, as they're about to make a choice, which candidate to vote for, are not happy with either one. And personally, I'm kind of the same way. You know, I would have liked another candidate to choose from. Absolutely. So, you know, a lot of American people, you know, are just in that position. Like, you know I got to vote between these two candidates, and I'm just not really thrilled with either one. It's almost a lesser of two evils at this point. I really don't see Biden as evil. Do not get me wrong, but there are some things in past. He was a segregationist at one time. That is true, you know, and everything. And that's not on his side. He kind of gaffes. He does got a little dementia in there. Okay. You know, so there are some concerns in there. But we look at the state of the world, you know, and what's going on. And especially, you know, the post office is a major signal. A lot of people are fearful of a dictatorship. You know, so you've got people, this is kind of how it is. You know, there's been a lot of fear perpetrated from the right that we can become socialists. But then you've got a lot of fear perpetrated from the left. It's actually not perpetrated, I should say, you know, that we can become a dictatorship. You know, which one is scarier? You know, not that, you know, in socialism, one thing, it takes care of people, but we like the way things are as far as, you know, being, you know, a democracy and so forth. You know, we need that kind of middle. And a lot of people, when you think about it, are moderates for the most part, you know, fiscally conservative, but they do like things, you know, to take care of programs. People like Social Security. That is kind of a socialism thing. But people like their Social Security, you know, they put their money into something all their life. So when they retire and they can't work, they have something coming in. So there are certain programs. Most people want a good healthcare system, you know, that doesn't break them when they, you know, if they have to go to the hospital and have surgery, you know, they want to be taken care of. But inevitably, we're getting down to that point. You know, people are about to make their choice. You know, I do like the fact that Ace of Swords is upright. So I'm hopeful that the right choice is made among the American people. I know what I choose. You guys know what I choose. But everything has been looking, you know, looking good for me that Biden's going to win. Because we need to get this country back on track so bad. You know, And one of the issues has been coronavirus. Eight of Wands, as you guys know who watch my videos, this is my COVID card because it's a very swift moving, and it usually kind of goes kind of upright, but a very swift moving card, very aggressive. And that is what COVID is. It's a very aggressive type of virus. So we definitely can anticipate it still going up and so forth, unfortunately, until people, get on track. But I feel like there is going to be, I've got the Wheel of Fortune next to the COVID card. So we may actually hear some positives coming up. Now, I'm not sure if there is some kind of medical advancement or we're getting on track with the vaccine. I know how some of you feel about taking a vaccine, okay? But there are people out there that would be willing to take it to live. I'm concerned where it comes from. See, I think they said Russia has a vaccine or something. If it comes from Russia, forget it, guys. I'm not taking it. But, if it's something like Dr. Fauci comes up with something and, I trust the man, we'll see, but it's going to be a while. But I feel there's going to be some kind of positive news that we get about coronavirus. It could be lowering in some certain states and going down, and somebody has some positive news, something fortunate, and so forth. So we should have something there, which is positive. And let me go ahead and look a little more. Let's see, who is that? Who is that? One of the things when I see the Empress is the mother of tarot. Now, I feel like we had the protest. Remember all the moms that were standing out there protesting? But this is kind of how I feel, especially like the women in this country. I feel like something is going to happen where some women are going to speak out a little bit more. For instance, he's been trying to appeal to the suburban housewife. Okay. So, he's trying to appeal to them, in some way. But you know how women are like, you're calling me a housewife? I'm the homemaker. Are we back to the 50s? You know what I'm saying? Like talking to, with the Stepford wives or something. But I feel like we may see a little bit more of that, trying to appeal to the women in some way, to sway their vote, and, but I also feel like some of the women, may speak out this week in some way, about their views. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. I'm just very drawn to this Empress. And I feel something there, some kind of appeal to women. Now, it could be because Kamala, is vice. So you may see more women standing by her side, like right on, we got a woman running for vice. This is awesome. That women empowerment. See, she has the opportunity to appeal to women, that admire strong women. And there's a lot of women who would love a woman in office. Like, it's about time. This has never happened, guys. I want you to think on that. We have never had a woman as president or vice president. They ran very minimally. But what would that do? That would be incredible. Now, as I was focusing on that, I just drew the world. And I kind of think of that, the world is about a new cycle. We've got a lot of world events, and that's, I'm reading on big things. But I see some kind of hope in there, another kind of clue from the spirit that we have the opportunity to go through a new cycle and empower the women. And, the Empress is really the goddess of the tarot. So a little bit of that goddess power, coming into the world would be really great. Looking at the COVID, though, just like I said, I feel like we're going to have some kind of good news, but we're still going to have more death. I've got the Ten of Swords, and I have a feeling some more families speaking out about their story, feeling betrayed by the government, stabbed in the back. Like, how could you do this? Why didn't you respond sooner? So I feel some more stories coming out about that, dealing the death. And this is very hard. I kind of feel, when I'm kind of looking at the news, people who haven't lost a loved one, I find there's a good chunk in the country very desensitized. They're not focusing on how the impact of death and how tragic it is. And I know people are concerned about their jobs. I completely do not blame them. Okay? I do not blame them. But, we need to face the reality that death is tragic, and we need to try to stop it. We need to prevent as many as we can at any cost. So we have people who are very more, I just want to get back to work, and I understand them too. Don't think I don't understand them. They're really scared, about the economy and so forth. Um, so anyway, so it's kind of like we got to figure out a solution that works for all of us. And one of the things, guys, if I could tell you, if we all wore masks, we could make this go down, and then more things could open up, and we could just all wear masks, and everything could just keep going like this. But people are still refusing, to do that. Now I've got the Nine of Wands, so I feel like somebody, is going to feel they need to defend themselves. Now, since this is at the bottom, and I've got the Queen of Swords reversed at the top, I do feel some kind of accusations coming against Kamala Harris. Obviously, I told you they would be hidden, but where she really is going to need to defend herself. And this is kind of a boundaries card. So she's going to really set some boundaries, and they're going to try to cross them. So I feel like something, that really crosses her boundaries. And this could be why the Queen of Swords is in a reverse position. She's going to get brutal here. She's going to get brutal, like, wow, you crossed the line. We're going to talk about her kids or something. Something very crazy may come up. So I talked about Biden. This popped up in another read too. He is the very first card with the King of Cups. But we've also got the Hermit. So he is still working on... See, this is the thing. He's really trying to perfect the art of the debate and take all the knowledge. I think the man's been in office 50 years. Okay, so he's got a lot of experience, And Trump, he's the type who rushes in. We've got, the Knight of Swords. He rushes in and he just kind of very flippant. And his method is to attack, which we talked about in one of my other reads. His aim in the debates is going to be character attacks, personal attacks, where Biden's going to be dealing more with issues. He will, deal with things that Trump did wrong. Absolutely, he has to. But he's going to be dealing with plans for the issues at large, because this is what the American people want. We really want a plan to stop coronavirus, a plan to get the economy going, a plan for universal health care to work better, a plan to get some peace in this country because we've had a lot of protests, solutions to kind of make that chill, that everybody can be happy. This is what he's working on, is the Hermit. He's kind of in solitude. He goes out here and there. He's beginning. He's about to come out. Here comes the Hermit coming out of the cave. But he spent a lot of time in seclusion practicing those speeches. I see this is going to be the big thing. Practice makes perfect in a debate, and being ready for the opposition. He's going to play chess. He's going to do very well. I feel we're going to see some things that are very significant. Now we've got the situation. We're going to hear a little bit from Nancy Pelosi this week. We know the Senate took a recess. This is a real bad time. I was hoping, I thought when I saw Hangman reverse, they would have made a decision. That was a little hopeful stretch. I should have known better. We're going to see her speaking up about some things. She's going to get very vocal, not only about, them taking their recess because, we need another stimulus, but also she's going to be very vocal about the post office. And she may take some very strong action against some things going on, especially with the post office. This is a sore spot, I feel. This is very much a sore spot, and then I've got the Strength card. So especially, she's going to come out strong and everything. So expect some things from her that are going to be very powerful. And then the End card is the Three of Swords in the reverse position. I do feel more healings with COVID are going to be, occur. So there is still going to be success stories. This is the only upside of COVID is yes, the majority survive, but do they survive well? A lot of people have long lasting problems, but there are some people that come out of it and it's a miracle and they're fine and everything. At least, there are cases. Some people just have flu like symptoms and then they go away and everything is really good. So it just really depends. I'm going to pull some card for my light people, how to kind of deal during this trying time, kind of see what's going on. Messages of spirit. Because we need an uplift, don't we? When I do my weekly tarot reads, I want to kind of talk to you about what's going on. But at the same time, I do want to hopefully give you some hope, if I can, on spirit. And there goes spirit, I see it. Okay, so this is good. So I've got, this is the Gabriel. Archangel Gabriel, message of creativity and hope. So I especially look at that hope card. We need hope. So I feel like the spirit is saying the angels are watching over you. There is hope for you. So, everything looks like it's crumbling and falling apart, but no, I'm in charge. I've got the shirt on, with God, all things are possible. So don't forget, spirit is there. Yes, there's going to be very uncomfortable, crumbling down, death, this, that, and we could feel like, where's spirit? We'll get our answers one day, guys. Okay, I know it's really hard to stomach all this. We're going to get our answers one day. And then I've got the peacock, raise your standards. So I feel like when I look at this, there are people that are accepting certain behaviors that they should not. And I had a video and I was kind of talking about that, especially among the light community. People, I've seen people talk about Trump being a light worker, though look what he puts out. Let me just present one thing to you, just one. Would a light worker make fun of a disabled man? Because we all know he did that. And he was very graphic about it and very cruel. Would a light worker make fun of the disabled? Absolutely not. So right there alone, that should put that argument to rest among any of the light community who think he could remotely possibly be a good guy. Just maybe he just doesn't behave himself. Okay, right there alone, guys. Just that fact alone. And that should have ended it right there. Everybody should have been, that's a horrible thing he just did. And I'm sure he lost votes over it, but not enough. And that's the surprising thing. And then I've got the dolphin card. Don't worry, be happy. And that's really important during this time. Don't worry, be happy. Try to have good moments here. Get off the news, get off social media, because there's a lot of stuff in the feed. Hey, I'm a contributor, I post my opinion. But, kind of get away, get with the family, go have happy times. Life is short. If anything we have learned with COVID is we need to appreciate life. That life is short. It can be cut from us at any time. And that has caused a lot of fear among people, that like, yeah, I could get this. I could be that person in the hospital. That could be me. This is where we kind of realize we're all one. We are all vulnerable and we are mortal in the physical. We may be divine inside and that spirit is going to go on. We are reassured in that sense for us spiritualists that, we can go on and everything, and we'll be, our soul will be okay. But we still got to live, right? We still got to live here. And I'm going to pull a couple more from the Lemuria deck. It's a beautiful deck, for my light people. Ooh, very interesting. So I've got the card Radical Expansion. So as I kind of look at radical expansion, I want you to kind of think about more people waking up even more and expanding even bigger. I even kind of, think about Facebook and light communities growing, like they're just going to pop up here and there because people are getting in tune with their mission right now. And they're, let me show that to you. They're getting in tune with their mission right now, and it's becoming more pronounced, and they know what they got to do, and they're going to get out there. So I want you, and also even out in the public and even out in the media, I feel like we're going to start to see the light workers really come out. You know, the ones that really want change, you know, but are going to do it with love and compassion. Expect that. And endless opportunities. So we have opportunity to make changes that are positive, you know, in all of us. If we can all contribute something positive in some way, shape, form, capacity, you know, think about what you can do. You know, maybe you can't fix all the problems in the world, but what's that one thing you can do? I want you to think about a stone. When you throw it in the pond, it ripples outward. You know, all you got to do is toss a stone. Think about, what is my stone? What is my pebble I can toss into the pond and cause ripples? Endless opportunities. I want you to think of that. So during this time, try not to lose hope. You know, Spirit is with us. You know, with God, all things are possible, just like my shirt. Just try to keep focused. We all need to focus on the Spirit. Just imagine if everybody on the earth lost their faith. You know, what kind of world this would be. It would be tragic. Everybody would be in darkness. Then we really go lower astral. You know, we got to keep our connection. So trust the Spirit during this time. Yes, we're in some very dark times. They are very challenging, but we have opportunity. As you look at that, there's opportunity to create something better. You know, it's kind of like the dancing Shiva, the Naharaja. You know, the creation, destruction, but then again, creation of the universe. We have, and then my alarm went off. It's time to wake up, guys. See, that happened in another video I did. My alarm went off. It's time to wake up.